Mark Pope picks up a signature win and the Wildcats shock John Calipari and the Razorbacks on the road.
You are Locked On Kentucky, your daily podcast on the Kentucky Wildcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, Big Blue Nation? Welcome on into Locked On Kentucky. I'm your host, Lance Dawe, and on tonight's episode of Locked On Kentucky, we are going to be recapping a monumental victory for Mark Pope and the Kentucky Wildcats, shocking Arkansas and John Calipari on the road. 85-77 is your final score from Bud Walton Arena. The Cats come back after a crazy officiating conundrum in the second half. Insane game from start to finish. Going to be breaking this one down for you here on today's show. We are live on YouTube if you are watching there. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you're tuned in. Subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. This is insane. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL playoffs are wrapping up, and FanDuel is the best place to get into the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com to get your NFL playoff profit boosts every game day. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you have not subscribed on the YouTube channel or the podcast feed, would love it if you did. So let me know what you think about this game because, oh my gosh, 85-77 is the final score again. Cats emerge victorious after a phenomenal first half, a officiating conundrum in the second period of play. Doug Schowles nearly screwing Kentucky out of a victory, but the Cats remained poised. That's what I wrote down on my notes and underlined several times. Stay poised, stay poised, stay locked in. And the Cats found a way to not let their emotions get the best of them at the end of the game. They found a way to pull this one out. They continued to get buckets, continued to get stops when they needed it. The free throw shooting contest at the end was won by UK, despite some inefficient stuff from the line overall. But Kentucky maintained their composure on the road after receiving 4 technicals, 3 in less than 40 seconds. I've never seen anything like that in my life, where a team gets boom, boom, boom technicals, completely swings the momentum of the game. Arkansas takes a 4-point lead, and if I'm not mistaken, and the Cats fight back. They punch right back. After a great first half, they were not going to be denied the victory of the year. Mark Pope with a signature win, arguably the best win of his career here tonight in Bud Walton Arena against Kentucky's former coach, outdueled Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, Malik Ewan, this incredible Razorback squad. They could not get it done. Kentucky, incredible stuff from start to finish on both ends of the floor. 6 blocks in this game. You get a few from Diabate. You get a couple from Marino, some huge stops at various spots to maintain a lead. That's what I continue to say on Twitter. It's unique. It's a beautifully unique thing for Kentucky to find themselves up double digits at some point in the first half. And the panic kind of sets in a little bit of you have to find a way to hold. You have to find a way to maintain this lead. This team hasn't really felt that pressure against a quality opponent this season. And yes, the officiating nearly screwed them out of their composure, out of their ability to maintain their large deficit, or a large lead, I should say. But they were able to fight through it. It did not matter. Cats come out with a dub. Again, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Already 250 strong here in the live chat. Really, really hyped up for you guys here, man. This is a big win, dude. This is a big freaking win for Mark Pope. This is a big win for this team. This is a big win for Big Blue Nation's confidence in this coach and these players in the future of this program. This is a monumental victory here tonight. 85-77. It's so funny. It's so funny how computer models are so fickle sometimes. But to be honest with you, this is also a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde squad. But I will point out here for you, 84-77 was the projected final score in the opposite direction on KenPom. And if you look across various computer models, Torvik, Evan Mia, you were seeing similar things. If you look at what the betting lines were saying, they were saying 7.5 points. Cats would not be able to get it done in this game. And yet Kentucky flips the score in its head, finds a way to win. They're now projected to win 20 plus this season, which if you had told me that just a couple of weeks ago, looking at this roster without Cam Williams, without Jalen Lowe, without Jaden Quaintance, they're going to come down the stretch and find a way to hang 20 on this SEC slate, I would have been thoroughly impressed. 15-7 now, 6-3 in the SEC. The SEC championship game, by the way, or SEC regular season title, not out of the realm of possibility still here for the Cats. They've got enough on the schedule here to wrap things up, enough big home games against some of the best competition this league has to offer where they can look up and be right there in the thick of it. This is a huge win. Again, not just for the immediate, but for the long-term future of this program to look up and say, we have a shot to still accomplish everything that we want to this year with our shorthanded personnel, with the inability to go deep into our bench because we don't have a true point guard. We don't have our lottery pick 5. We don't have all the answers that we thought we would have to the test at the beginning of the season. And yet this team still finds a way. I am just befuddled. I don't know what to really make of this team. They come out against Vanderbilt and act like they don't want to be there. They don't want to even go out onto the court. They're touching money pregame. They're thinking about the millions of dollars that they have waiting for them whenever they get back to Lexington. It will look like a piss poor effort from Oweh, from this team they just did not care to go in to Nashville and even try to be competitive in that game. And I got on my soapbox. After that game, I got on this team. I got on this team yesterday whenever I asked the question, is Kentucky still an elite program? Which, by the way, the answer is yes. It was just a little bit of a deep dive into the now and the immediate future. There are concerns there still. But this Arkansas game, I came into it and I said, there is no reason to believe why Kentucky will win this game because of their effort, full stop. Now, you can look at some analytical things, you can look at some matchup things to say, well, here's some reasons why that Arkansas may fail, why Kentucky may find a way to get this game in Bud Walton. There are some things to point to, but as far as their effort goes, if you can't give effort, you can't find a way to win. And darn it, if they were not shooting like they were going to die if they did not win this game from the jump, it was insane. Fun stat for you, and you probably saw it already on Twitter, 1 of 11. That's what Kentucky started shooting the game against Vanderbilt. 10 of 11 in this game to start against Arkansas. On fire is what this whole team was. And I do want to give Otega Oweh some credit. I've got some criticisms here, but I've got some credit. I really appreciated the poise that he had in this game. You could tell he was aware, he wanted to play, he wanted to compete on both ends of the floor. He was actually giving effort, and the free throws didn't come tonight, but it's okay. You know what? That's part of it. He's a little bit of a wonky shooter. It was a high-pressure situation, but he still got his. 24 points, 9 of 12 shooting, by the way. Forget the 6 of 11 from the charity stripe. He was unstoppable for this uber-athletic, tall, lanky, physical Arkansas team. He grabbed 8 boards, 3 assists to just 1 turnover. That pocket pass to Marino in the second half was crispy as all get out. Beautiful stuff from Oweh, who had to play 38 minutes tonight. Now, I do want to criticize the lack of composure in the moment where you could have let Trevon Brazile do his thing, lose his mind, push you. You don't have to slap at hands. You can be the bigger person in that moment. I understand in the heat of the moment, it's really hard to rationalize through those things. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword there as far as criticism, but also I kind of get it. This was a great night from the team, the player that needs to be leading this team from here on out. This is the type game you need from him. Efficiency, intention to detail, driving with intention, trying to do things and not just doing them because you're freaking out. You think about what you're doing and you act on it with intent and physicality and athleticism and speed to the basket. I loved what I saw from Otega Oweh. I loved what I saw from this team overall. The shooting in this game. How about this? Fun little thing for you. Kentucky's not a great three-point shooting team, but darn it if they didn't go 6 of 13 from beyond the arc in this game. Hit 1 of 2 in the second half, just 2. Guys, just 2. 2 threes in the second half. They shot 25 free throws. They shot 2 threes. If they had hit some more free throws, who knows what this game would have been? Honestly, if Arkansas had hit more free throws, who knows what this game would have been? But my gosh, shout out Oweh, and let's shout out Malachi Marino here for a second. And Fran Fraschilla on the broadcast, the color analyst for this game, I thought he did a great job. He continued to point out every time Marino's in there, getting his nose into the mud, digging in there, doing the things that a physical big man should do, grabbing O-boards, swatting shots, getting back on defense, being your rim protector, and the guy who initiates things at the rim on the offensive side of the ball. This was a great performance from him. 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks in 27 minutes. He finishes with a team high plus 16 in 27 minutes of play. Great stuff from Marino. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. If Kentucky blows this thing up next year and they decide to go with some different players on next year's roster, Marino and Jasper are the two players that I'm looking at and saying they have to come back. I want these two players on my roster. Now, yes, Jasper, in the limited minutes that he got today, did not play well. I even said it in the previewing this yesterday. I didn't necessarily think he matched up well against Arkansas's personnel. Baby Deer versus an oncoming 18-wheeler in Darius Aka from Malik Thomas. You can kind of see how that goes. And in the limited minute run that he got in the first half, was just really bad with the ball. They trapped him. He didn't know what to do with it, didn't have the physicality to get out of it. Honestly, thought there should have been a foul called there, but you know what? Doug Schaus is swallowing his whistle in the most important moments in this game. Whew. My gosh, 3 techs in 15 seconds, as Christopher points out. 3 techs in 15 seconds. Doug Schaus, and I was losing my ever-loving mind on Twitter. Doug Schaus nearly stole the game from Kentucky. How about the Wildcats to overcome not just Arkansas, which credit to them, that's a great team, but overcome the officiating in this game? And you may look up at the end of this game, and you may say, well, Lance, look at the fouls. Look at Arkansas with 24 personal fouls to Kentucky's 21. No. That does not tell the story of what happened. Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken, at one point in the second half, Kentucky got those technicals. It was 6 Kentucky fouls to 3, or something crazy like that. It was like six Kentucky fouls to 3, and it was clear. It was clear to this officiating crew. I don't know if it was clear to Schaus, who stepped in and let his ego and his emotions get in the way of this game by calling all these different techs. It was clear that the officials had royally screwed the momentum and the process of this game. And so they spent the rest of the second half trying to even it up. Now, will I sit here and tell you that the fouls that Arkansas had on Kentucky weren't fouls? No. I thought that the whistle was officiated. I thought it was officiated correctly. After the bowl that we saw with the technicals, I thought this game was officiated fine. But my gosh, for Kentucky to have gotten up by 7, for them to continue to hold around that lead, and then for Doug Schaus to get in the way and make this game about him was pathetic. And you know what? This is not the first time he's done it. He does this every year for a few games. He's good for it. And I understand that officials are protected by unions. Like, there's no touching them. They're going to get whatever they want, however they want it, in the middle of a game. And if you don't like it, they're the ones who oversee everything. They're the ones that you bow down to in that moment. But my gosh, they need to be investigated at the very least. And something needs to be done about these officials letting their emotions and their ego override a game just like that. You are costing teams. And honestly, if butterfly effect, you may be costing some players future careers because you just want to screw something up in the moment. This is ridiculous stuff from people like Schaus. And I understand I think the first technical, right? But the technical on Diabate where he says nothing to anyone, he is shouting to air, and he says 3 words, and I retweeted it, and I should probably go pull it back up. I think it might have been Justin Rowland who said this. There are no 3 words in the English dictionary that Mohamed Diabate could have possibly said in that moment to no one, by the way, that would have warranted a technical. Really bad stuff from Doug Schaus. And then for Mark Pope, who doesn't cuss, who doesn't really get in your face, for him to say that wasn't a foul to Schaus, and Doug's like, yes, it is. And for Pope to say that was not a foul, and then for him to immediately give him another tech, again, emotions possibly ruining what is the win of the year. 85-77 is the final score. Cats get a huge dub on the road. I am fired up. We're going to continue to break this one down here on Locked On Kentucky. Before we do it, though, I do want to tell you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. It's one final Sunday, one last kickoff, the final chance to get in on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. This Super Bowl 60, FanDuel is making sure you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. Whether you're backing the Seahawks or riding with the underdog Patriots or building one last same-game parlay, this is the game that everyone's been waiting for. Predictions turn into plays, stats turn into storylines, and every snap feels bigger. It's the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. And if you're a new customer, bet just $5, 5 buckaroos, and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season's over. Last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Continuing along here on today's episode, really appreciate you guys tuning in. 85-77 is the final score. Cats get it done in Bud Walton. They do not move on KenPom. They do not move, but who needs computer models at this point with this Kentucky team? Who needs to look at what a computer and numbers have to say about my team when I can sit here and tell you there's no telling what to think of this team from moving from here on out? And I understand that personnel will dictate matchups. That's how it goes. But man, statistics are thrown out the window. Throw them out. Don't even look at them, because this Kentucky team will either greatly overexceed expectations or will not even show up. It is bizarre. It is the weirdest thing to me that this Kentucky team will just one moment, oh, let's actually go and play like we are not going to play another game in our lives after this one. And then they'll show up to Nashville and lose 80-55, and they're walking inbounds plays back out of bounds, and they're missing free throws, and they're not getting back on defense. Let me tell you something about this Arkansas team. This is one of the best fast break teams in the nation. One of the best teams in the country in transition. Do you know how many fast break points they had tonight? They mentioned it on the broadcast. 2. They had 1 bucket in transition. How on earth are you supposed to accurately predict game in and game out what this team is made of, what kind of grit they show up with, what kind of effort they show up with when they won't get back on defense against Vanderbilt, but they will hold Arkansas to 2 fast break points, this uber athletic, incredible Arkansas team that races up and down the floor? How on earth are you supposed to know what your team is? And the multiple pundits nationally have said this. I'm sure a lot of y'all have said this as well. It is a pure Jekyll and Hyde team. It's a box of chocolates. You could shake it up and you could look inside. You could pick one. You never know what you're going to get. It's the Bean Boozled of college basketball teams, where they, yes, they have greatly underwhelmed. Yes, they have been hurt by all of these injuries, and that's really, really forced them to struggle in games where they need a point guard. But darn it, if they are making it work without it, in the games where they actually try, where they give an effort, insane. And the funniest thing about this is that if you look deeper into their conference analytics, it's even weirder, because they have the 8th best offense in the SEC. They have just the 5th best defense in the SEC. Now they're first in the SEC in block shots, but when you look past that, there's not really a whole lot that they're doing insanely well. They're not shooting well at the rim. They're not shooting well at the foul line. They're turning the ball over. They're throwing the ball out of bounds way too often. And it's just like the offense is not that good. Like, sure, they're knocking down outside shots, but it's 4th best in the SEC now, so it's not like insanely elite at 35%. And you look on defense, I mean, everything's either average to just below average. Forget what the analytics tell you. This team's finding a way. And yes, sure, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. They could find a way to lose against Oklahoma on Wednesday. Yeah, they could do that. They could lose to Oklahoma and Tennessee, but it does not take away from this being the win of the year. They could lose out. This is the win of the year. Biggest win for Mark Pope this season. Signature to get one over on the old coach, John Calipari, who, credit to him, he's got a great team this year. Really good team in Fayetteville. And hats off to them. I hope he finds success as he winds down his Hall of Fame career. But payback in this one is sweet. After the swagger that Arkansas team came in with last year, and then Kentucky responds. They respond. They had the mental and physical fortitude to come back in this game and respond. And that's something that I didn't expect from this team. To be honest with you, I didn't expect this team to have that in them, to have that drive, to have that fire, to have that want, to go into this game and say, you know what, we want this one, and we're going to go out there and fight like hell to get it. I am so thoroughly impressed with this individual effort. Can you string it together? We don't know. There's no telling what this team is going to do, and we don't know if another player is going to get hurt, so we just need to sit back and just ride the roller coaster. And it's so funny. It's so funny that I've continued to say, and I know probably a lot of you have said it as well, but I've continued to say, after last season, the emotional roller coaster, the hot and cold, where they beat good teams and then they punch down against bad competition. And now it's the opposite, where they punch down against good competition. They struggle with them, and then they blow everybody else out, or they play really well against the bad comp. It's so weird. Like, I came into this year saying, I don't want to ride the wave. I don't want to ride the roller coaster. Please don't put me back on Space Mountain. I will throw up. I may get a concussion. Who knows what could happen? And yet, here we are. Everybody's on Space Mountain, and we're going back up, and we're trying this thing one more time. It is game after game. You don't know what you're going to get. It is just, it's taking years off of our lives, and you know what? I'm kind of here for it. It's still fun. I'm still having a good time. So, again, I really appreciate everybody in the live chat. 900 strong here as we continue along on Locked On Kentucky. I do want to get to some of y'all's comments. But I want to talk a little bit more about some of the stats that happened in this game, some of the things that unfolded in this game. This is the hottest start Kentucky has had this season against a quality opponent. It's the best first half that they played, but best first 15 minutes of a game that they played, and I don't even know how long. Against a team that actually matters. This was incredible stuff. Again, mental fortitude, want to, poise. The crowd didn't really have a chance to get into this one until the officials got in the way of it. They took it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful how Arkansas made this their t-shirt night. It's their Super Bowl. When the Kentucky Wildcats come to town, you know it's going to be a spectacle. Everybody in the SEC wants a piece. You get us while we're down, like Dan Hurley has said. You get us while we're down this year. Make it your Super Bowl. Get the t-shirts in, because when we ruin your week like this, it feels so sweet. It feels so sweet. And it's even better against your former coach. It's even better. This is their Super Bowl, and darn it if they didn't lose. Beautiful stuff. Payback is great in this spot. Hottest start I've seen this season against a quality opponent. They held on to the ball. How about 7 turnovers in this game? Without a point guard. Without a point guard, guys. Not a single quality point guard on this roster. Not a true point guard on this roster. Aberdeen, Oweh, handling business in this one. I need to take a look and say, Aberdeen, no turnovers. Oweh, just 1. Nobody on this team had more than 1 turnover tonight. No one. 7 turnovers on the game. Excuse me. No. That's Arkansas stats. Yeah, nobody had the team technically had 3 total is how the stats broadcast is going to break it down. Beautiful offensive execution to drop 85. Be efficient both inside and outside the arc. Efficient enough inside the arc. Efficient outside. And then you knock down 19 free throws. I love it. I love it so much. Ref shirt, I was not going to give Doug Shows that much credit. I was not going to give him the opportunity to have me put on a ref shirt in disdain for him. He doesn't deserve it after the bull that he just pulled. He does not deserve the ref shirt from me, frankly. That is reserved for a team or officiating crew wide mistakes. Shows and his emotions don't deserve my ref shirt. It is an honor that I'm not willing to bestow upon such lowly individual, irrational, emotional figures such as Doug Shows. Next time, then. We'll get him next time. Yeah, because there will be a next time. There will be another time this year where Kentucky runs into bad officiating. And I'll say this for anybody that wants to sit here and say, well, Kentucky complains a lot about officiating. I want to be very clear. Up until the Tennessee game, pretty much the Tennessee game, this entire year, I didn't have any qualms with officiating. When Kentucky was getting beat, they were getting beat. When Kentucky was winning, they were winning. It wasn't because of officiating. When they fouled, they fouled. When they didn't, consistently. And then we get into the thick of SEC play, and it all goes to, in a handbasket. I don't know what it is with these officiating crews. I think, honestly, it's more of an indictment on how these coaches tell their kids to play. It's ridiculous to go out there and foul. There's a clip that surfaced before, it might have even been before halftime, where Kentucky, Chandler's driving. Yeah, I think it's Chandler. And he goes to put up a shot, and DJ Wagner shoves him with both hands. Shoves him with both hands in the paint. It's not like there was an official not looking, because that's where the ball is on the play, and there's 5 kids in the paint. And they just didn't call it. The boys maintain control. I agree. They maintain control. If we're not a ranked team talent and you lost, what does that make Arkansas? I still think Arkansas is a good team. I want to be clear. I have respect for this Arkansas team. They've got some very, very talented players. Very talented players. Kentucky still won't be ranked in the top 25, but how sweet this dub is. Who cares? By the way, this is something that I've been meaning to talk about, and then we'll wrap up the show getting into the rest of the live chat. Bobby 2Pops 1919. Here, listen real quick. Human error and stupidity and ignorance is what makes the AP poll virtually irrelevant for the majority of the season. If you want concrete evidence as to what a team is throughout the course of the season, you need to look at either a computer model, the net ratings, or what analysts are saying. You need to look at what individual people that actually watch the games and actually watch the sport tell you, because there are so many different beat writers, basketball writers, journalists that supposedly watch this sport. And when you go and actually look at their individual ballots, they don't know what they're talking about. They have teams ranked that shouldn't be. They have teams ranked so highly that you're like, what is going on? Jesse Newell with the whole Auburn thing a year ago was just doing it out of pure spite, was holding Auburn out of a ranking that they had not had historically out of pure spite. You cannot look at the AP poll and look at the human error, the ignorance, and the just sheer stupidity from some of these journalists and say that is an accurate measure or representation of what is good or bad in college basketball. So if you want to say they won't be ranked in the AP poll, you know what? They shouldn't be. After losing to Vanderbilt that bad and winning a game against Arkansas, they probably shouldn't be ranked in the AP poll, splitting the games splitting 500 this week. But who cares? Who cares? You got the biggest win of the year, so you can go home, and if you're an Arkansas fan, you can cry, woo pig suey into your little blanket. For the rest of the year, you can do that. Isn't that beautiful? You don't get the opportunity to say that you beat Kentucky 2 games in a row. You don't get that chance. We'll see you in the SEC tournament. If we see you, hope you have fun there. Best of luck to you. Hope it's a great game. But right now, how sweet it is. Payback. Who cares about the AP Top 25? We'll continue along here, breaking this game down. Before we do that, though, I'll tell you guys about our friends over at Mazda. This is a continuation of our historical segment. This spot will highlight a player here. I want to get back to Otega Oweh. This is Mazda's moving the game forward. For those who show there's more to the score than what's on screen, Otega Oweh. It's not about just the scoring. It's not about the box score stats. It's about the effort and the want to and the fight on both ends of the floor. You didn't see it against Vanderbilt. You saw a player that did not care and did not want to be there. And tonight, against in a huge game, in a huge spot where you were nobody thought that this was going to happen, Otega Oweh comes through in the clutch. And it reminds us of what it really takes to raise the bar. It's that extra work off the court, dialing in every detail, giving it that extra fire, that grit, and the I never quit. That's what this team needs. And Mazda puts that exact same passion into every car that they make, every model. Highlights will make the reel, but what it took to get there actually makes that count. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you. All right, wrapping up today's episode of the show. Congratulations to Bobby Two Pops in the chat. He is banished to the Shadow Realm just because I feel like it, because it's funny. 906 people strong here. 85-77 is the final score. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like the video if you have not already. I would love it if you did so. And please subscribe. We are trying to get to 20K, hopefully before the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to happen. But my gosh. What a beautiful, beautiful win. 07 to Bobby in the chat. Free Bobby. Immediately, the boys are coming to defend this man. Yeah, this is not a bit. That's apple juice. I just wanted to be celebratory and funny. That's not even a bit. That's apple juice. I got a gallon of it, actually, at the store. Trying to finish that thing off. Okay. Someone in the chat says, DS7637 says, they were projected an 8 seed tonight during the game. And I think about it. I think I talked about it earlier this week, where I sat here on the show and I showed you what Torvik thought, computer model, if Kentucky won one of these games, Vandy, Arkansas, if they won both the games, and Arkansas literally pushes Kentucky up a whole seed line. A win against Arkansas, and if everything else plays out the way that it's projected to, then Kentucky would have moved up a whole seed line. So punch them up to a 7. If they can get out of that 7, 8, 9, 10 range, and they can get up to the 6, 5 range, honestly, my dream would be for Kentucky to get up to a 5, maybe a 4. That would be a pipe dream. We'll see. But my gosh. Yeah, you can go ahead and say that this is a seed line moving win potentially if Kentucky can continue to build on this. Ain't our Super Bowl, but judging how many Arkansas fans are running their mouths, it's definitely theirs. Captain Crash, once again, with just words of wisdom. Can I pin that chat? I know we're live here, but I will be pinning this message. How sweet it is. How beautiful it is. Cal, a no-show at the press conference. Really? KSR losing their mind at the bar right now. 5 or 6 seed would be great. I'd take it. What did you think of Garrison tonight? Hot and cold. He made some boneheaded decisions. Honestly, again, in the moment, like that goaltend I thought was big in the first half, but again, emotions high in this game. Garrison, 4 points, 2 of 5, 3 assists, 1 turnover in 13 minutes. I thought he was definitely way worse than Malachi, but I didn't think he was awful. He was a bench center. Brazil should have been ejected. Thank you, William. I meant to talk about that. He should have gotten a tech whenever he first pushed Oweh, and he should have gotten a tech. I can't remember the moment in the second half, but he should have gotten a tech then as well. He should have been gone with about 8 minutes left in the second half. He should have been done. I also want to talk here about Trent Noah, who had to play in this game. He had to play, and he finished with 9 points, 6 of 8 from the charity stripe, 7 boards in this game. 19 minutes plus 8. You realize who he's going up against right now, in this game, by the way? Harlan County's very own has to match up with future NBA point guard Darius Acuff, future NBA shooting guard Malik Thomas, future NBA wing Carter Knox when he played in this game. He had to match up against legitimate star power talent. And he came down with 9 points and 7 big rebounds in this one. Heart and fight. You love to see it. Colin Chandler with an efficient day. With an efficient day, and that pivot, that turnaround bucket was pure at the end of the game. I can't say on air what I yelled, but I was excited. 13 points, knocked down 2 threes, 23 minutes, no turnovers. Neighbors is all right. Rest of the Arkansas fans that run their mouths every chance they get. I like John Neighbors. John has been awesome to me. John, I think, does a very good job at Locked On Razorbacks. If y'all watch his recap after this, like, don't give him crap. Don't go over there outside of just the normal stuff. I think he does a great job, and he doesn't antagonize. I'll tell you what he didn't do last year. He didn't antagonize me after Arkansas won. So I respect him in the media space. What did Acuff shoot from the floor? Let's talk about that as well. Kentucky holding Arkansas's lead guard to 8 of 20 shooting, 1 of 4 from deep, 3 assists to two turnovers, and he played 39 minutes in this one. He finished with 22, but in the first half, Acuff had 5 points on 2 of 10 shooting. We'll find you. I know Noah isn't good enough yet, but he should be able to start soon. I don't know if he's ever going to start, but I think that having him and his effort was awesome. 2 starters tonight with 0 points. Knox finished with 0. Didn't really find shots in this game. Honestly, Brazil was a problem with his floor spacing ability. Honestly, I thought that some of what Arkansas did tonight was less about their talent, which they have a ton of, and more about Kentucky's a couple of lapses defensively. I thought that it was just like Kentucky just kind of got out of position a little bit, and it was like a mental thing. It wasn't like, they're just over-talenting us. So credit to whatever staffer had this scout. And credit, if Kentucky wasn't knocking down shots early, maybe this game goes differently. But man, that's huge. Starting a game hot is great. They contain Malik Thomas as well. You're right. Jameson. I'll pull this back up here. 10 points on 4 of 8 shooting. But again, he just didn't really get a lot of opportunities. And if I'm not mistaken, most of that came in the second half. Does Johnson come back if he becomes the 9th man in this new rotation? I hope he does. He would kill it as a sophomore. I would like to think so, because it's clear he's got a lot of development in front of him. He needs time. He needs a lot of time, and to throw him out there as a starter on a future Power 4 team like Kentucky, I think would be detrimental to him. I think it would be better for him to develop for a sophomore season and to get stronger, because he is a bucket. He's a really good shooter. He's a really good shooter, really good scorer. I think it just needs time to physically and mentally mature to catch up with this game, because there's such a high ceiling there with him. Such a high ceiling. I can't read that Captain Crash, but that's funny. Actually, I don't even know if I can even say that. Our guys actually ran for the ball on rebounds and loose balls tonight. They didn't ball watch. I wrote down one time where I saw them kind of ball watching, where they could have gone for it with two hands and they kind of like swiped at it and it ended up in the hand of a Razorback. But Kentucky in this one out-rebounded Arkansas +9, had 10 offensive rebounds, 10 second chance points, 44 points in the paint. I mean, my gosh, the Motec was bull. No one could make me forget the start over Robin Reed. Still makes me sick. I actually was like, when I went to look at like notes and stuff for this game, previewing it, I was like, hold on. DJ Wagner's not starting. At least he hadn't been recently. And come to find out, I'm pretty sure it was because Thomas had an injury. Good night, Julie. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, I thought you were heading out. You're going to sleep well tonight. Well, thank you so much for watching. Did we see what Reed Shepherd wore today? No. Did he wear something specific for this one? Will that game help us land a recruit? I don't want to, without calling Stokes out on specific things, I'll say maybe. This was a great birthday present. Happy birthday, Luke. Happy birthday, man. I think Brazil and Ewan need to be suspended for the technical fouls and kicking Diabate in the head. Again, I think there's a lot of things that, despite winning, Kentucky should be submitting to the SEC office. There should be a lot of things taken a look at. This is a classic Cal loss. We know how Arkansas fans feel firsthand. Yeah. Don't we know it? Don't we know it? My gosh. Kentucky with a huge win tonight. Cat's still alive, man. Cat's still alive. They're still kicking. I wanted to see fight. I wanted to see effort, and we got it. Can they continue 2 games against Oklahoma and Tennessee? 2 games you can win. Can you push this to 17-7 with another quad 1 win, pushing into the final stretch of the season? We'll see how they handle themselves. We'll see how they handle the momentum. Yes, Horsley, I will. I'll try and work on that. My gosh. Payback. Locked on crossover with Tennessee. I think I was supposed to do one with him. I may get him. I may get Kane for next Saturday. Anyway. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight. A lot of people tuning in for this one. Subscribe. Please subscribe if you have not already. This is going to be a crazy stretch. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's just ride the wave. You can follow the show on Twitter at LockedOnUK. You can follow me on Twitter at LanceDaw_. And you can follow the show over on Instagram. That is at Kentucky Podcast. Any questions, comments, concerns? Leave those in the YouTube comments below. Hit me on the socials. I will see you all tomorrow, actually on Monday, for another episode of Locked On Kentucky. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, and God bless. And go Cats.